Speed is a suggestion. Jesus Christ. You think you got rear-ended every time the car comes to a stop. I mean, you can just hear the idle. Listen to it. Hey Queens, welcome back to Gears and Queers. It's Jake and Chris, and I don't know how to say this, Chris. It's time that I talk to you guys about something that I've been wanting to talk to you about for a long time, something that I've wanted to share with you for a long time, and something that I can't just hold back anymore, you know. But it's time we talk about it. My Mercedes. Yes, I know, you've seen it all over Instagram. It's no secret that I bought this car, but it's taken forever to finally film this video of my beautiful beige on beige 1983 Mercedes 300D. I am super psyched to finally show you guys around this car. Something that I've, I guess, lusted after. It's kind of a strange word to use, but something that I've wanted for a really long time, something that I've been hunting for a very long time. So I'm very excited that I finally get to share it with you because I'm stoked on it. But here she is. She's finally here in the flesh, and I can finally show you and share everything that we've done to it, everything that's wrong with it, everything that's, you know. Hopefully you've read the article that we posted on Opposite Lock. If not, that'll be linked in the description box down below. So click on that if you want a little more background, or if you're sick of hearing me talk. Totally possible. But yeah, let's get to it. I can't wait to show you guys around this car. So let's start with the exterior. She's a lovely little 3-box sedan. There's a 1983 300D, or DT, turbodiesel, just a sedan, obviously not the wagon. Those are very expensive still, but she's in a lovely, lovely, everyday, sort of understated shade of light ivory. There's about, God, I don't know, Chris, like 300 shades of beige that you could get in these, and this is a solid one. The paint's seen better days. If you can come and see sort of these little oil marks, I mean, these are probably our hands and other people's hands. This paint is super dry. She's single stage, and it hasn't been taken care of very properly, so it's very thirsty. So I'm trying to work out if I want to do like a repaint or respray or something, but it's rough, but she needs a good buff regardless, but we'll move on. The classic bunt wheels that spark plenty of argument. I prefer the body color hubcaps that you got in the lower trim models on these cars, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. And yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about these, you know, venerable old sedans? They're clean lines. Like, I think I saw a great video talking about when you draw a sedan as a child, or you're like when you draw a car, this is basically what you draw. I mean, it's so simple. You know, the headlight lines flow through. You got like one like really strong like body line. It's obviously an older car, but it still looks, I guess, proper in today's landscape of automotive design, and it's great. And I'm in love with it. And I mean, come on, look at that. What else could you want? Let's move inside. We'll discuss some more things along the way. But first, this lovely latch sound. I mean, get into that, Chris. Look at. Oh, lovely, lovely. Now you see where the G-Wagon gets it. Follow me. Come on. First off, they shut with the thud, but they really shouldn't, because the striker bolts need to be adjusted. Small thing, but they're old doors. But here we are in a lovely Palomino leather interior. And this is real leather. This isn't MB Tex. And I should know that because I'm sitting on a tote bag. Because, unlike MB Tex, this leather wears. And there's a spring right now poking me right in my ass. So that should be adjusted very soon. But other than that, I mean, it's held up pretty well over the years, you know? Except for the armrest, but that's typical. But I mean, just look at it. Like, it's just... it's simple, timeless, it's like understated yet somehow looks luxurious, at least to me, you know. I mean, this is just my car, but I'm so obsessed with it. I love it. All right, so my mom's on the phone. Mom, say hi.
Hi.
Perfect. You were built for this.
Yes.
What do you think of my Mercedes? Like, what's your professional opinion as a professional mother and a professional woman?
As a professional mother, it makes me a little nervous.
Why?
It's very old. It's got a lot of issues. The first time you drove it home, you barely made it up the hill.
Yes.
So there's some concerns.
But I fixed that.
Well, yeah, so far, but still got some other issues.
But like in terms of like looks, like how do you like it?
Well, I think it needs a paint job.
God, I can never get a break. Well,
Not a bit.
would you call it cute?
Yeah, I don't think it's cute. It's too big to be cute. But it is, let me think, nostalgic.
There we go. Could I call this car mom approved or no?
I think it's mom approved, yes.
Okay, cool. That's
As
all I
long
need
as
to
you
know.
don't take it on the highway yet.
Oh, okay. Well, too late for that. All right. Well, thank you, Mother.
You are welcome. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
You know, I love her. Okay. Let's go ahead and start with what's wrong in the car. And let's start small, interior stuff. This glove box. This is a very strange hinge design. So it's sort of like a, okay, there we go. These hinges, they are adjustable. So it can be adjusted and ironed out, but it's pretty hard to do. So, but that's one thing. Okay, maybe, maybe. This never happens, I swear, this never happens to me. Perfect. Armrest, obviously, just wear, tear, weight on it. What are you gonna do? The Zebrano wood trim. Oh yeah. This is a super, super thin veneer, and you can see it here, it's kind of flaking off. But this isn't actually like a finish, this is a very thick plastic type coating, and it is a bear to dissolve. So there are a couple ways you can do it, soaking in acetone, a whole bunch of nasty methods, but some of this needs to be refinished. I've seen much worse, so we've lucked out. A pretty actual highlight of this car is this dash. There's two very small cracks in it, and I think those were put there by someone who put aftermarket speakers in. So, not too bad. I have to get a dash pad. Not my favorite idea because they're pretty unsightly, but oh well. I don't want to deal with a cracked dash. Everything else in here is pretty minor, it's just like wear and tear. The sunroof is a little iffy. I can't decide if I want to open that or not, but maybe some other time. And then everything else is just leather that needs to be cleaned up. The floor mats, oh. That brings me to another issue. This car, Chris, what's the scientific term? Leaks. There we go. So it's a combination of worn sunroof seals. It's a combination of drainage pathways under the hood and on the actual gutters on the roof, allowing water to get under this car. Or sorry, not under the car, but into the interior, under the floor mats, and they get soaked. And you can tell, they're not wet. These are dry. I've let this dry out, and I have a car cover for it. Don't debate me on car covers. But the carpets are gross, so I'm not sure what a good shampoo might do, but we might be looking at getting some new, like, recreation carpets or some used ones. We'll see. But that's a serious issue, because that could lead to rust. It can lead to mold, has led to mold, so we'll be dealing with that. Let's talk engine. You know it well. It's an OM 617 turbo inline 5, 3 liters, non-intercooled turbo, which is, how would you say, hysterical. But yeah, I mean, this is the part of this car that leads to that classic statement of these run like tanks. They don't run like tanks, because you know what else? Tanks also need oil changes. So these are frequently, neglected because of that statement. This one, not too bad, but had some issues. So let's talk the killer of these cars, aside from rust, blow-by. These are diesel engines, they're compression engines, and you have to change the oil every 3,000 miles. Not everybody wants to do that. You get wear on piston rings and cylinders, and compression gases pass through, they build up in the crankcase, and they force oil out. It's happening a little bit here. You can see, this is probably also a case for a new rebreather too, but there's oil that works its way out from the fill cap and everything. You can see some leakage. What are you gonna do? It's pretty strong for what this engine has dealt with, 261,000 miles. So, I mean, I've had this car for like over a month now. So the first order of business when I first got it, just changing what needs to be changed. A new air filter and this air cleaner here. And we'll pop in some videos of things that we were running through because they were bad, Chris. Yes?
Very bad. Very
like
scary.
completely soiled air filters. Just things that, like, And the guy, you know, he's like, oh, I love the car. I'm like, do you? But you know, you can see, so that's, you know, that's been changed. We did new fuel filters. So it's diesel. It's a dirty fuel with a lot of sediment involved. So I don't know if you can see down here, this is what's called the pre-filter. So this comes from the supply and protects the actual injection pump, and they're clear, so you can see when they're all fouled up. And if you've seen on our Instagram, this car wouldn't go up hills. You know, we thought it was an issue of the transmission lacking vacuum control. It was just the fuel filters, you know, and it was like, it took what, 10 minutes to change. So there's another fuel filter, the main, that protects the supplies that comes back through. But you know, it's simple fixes that have made this car run well, and that's why I didn't want to show it to you guys beforehand. Probably would be a bit more entertaining, but you know, that's why you follow along on Instagram. We've already put some new hoses on it. You know, the old ones were rough, looking like the Michelin Man. We put a new thermostat in. This car was running cold, right around like 40 degrees Celsius. It was about as warm as it would get, even on a warm day. Which most people would be like, oh, well, at least it's not overheating. But if the car's not getting to temp, you're not burning things properly. And I was telling Chris one day after we fixed a couple things, I was like, the car still smokes. And he was like, it's probably because it's not even getting to temperature. And it definitely has evened out since then. So thank God for the small things. Thank God that every fix I have done on this car has been the issue behind a problem. You know, I haven't been chasing things, but I haven't gotten into the vacuum system yet. But we won't no. That's kind of it with the engine. There's leaks and things, you know. I mean, it's an old car. I'm not trying to have a show car. I'm not gonna chase things endlessly. But there's some maintenance to be done. I still need a valve adjustment, new valve gasket, everything. But there's some other things. Let's talk brakes. The brakes are, what'd you say? But I don't necessarily blame the previous owner because these are tough to do. So they come off along with the hub, at least the fronts do. So they're kind of a bear of a job, but they're certifiably dangerous. I probably should stop driving this car as much as I do. But that's the next on the order of business before this car goes to Radwood, hopefully. But, you know, front, rears, it's gonna be a bit of a job. What else? Transmission, like the engine, leaks a lot of fluid. We haven't been here long enough for you to see the puddle, but it's something to keep an eye on. A lot of harsh shifts. That's going to be something to do with tuning, Bowden cable, if you know all about that, VCV, things like that. These are all vacuum issues that are going to be super fun to replace, but that's why we got the car. That is one thing. We've delved into this vacuum system slightly. So you see here on top of the valve cover, this is sort of a junction for a lot of vacuum lines to come in through. This one right here actually goes into the actual sort of controller module from the VCV, everything, very complicated, but this one goes back to the transmission. It takes the vacuum from the side of the engine. This line, first off, really didn't exist, and what was left of it was plugged with a deck screw. And, you know, for something static that just runs off a constant supply of vacuum, this is like give and take with the transmission. It was awful. I couldn't shift it manually. That also contributed to it not going up hills because it wouldn't shift. It still shifts very confused, but I think it's an issue of tuning. We put new fluid in it. That helped a lot. New filter. It still leaks though. So I don't know if this transmission has to come out at some point. That's a problem for future JD. Some rips in the rear seats. Everything other than that, it's pretty smooth going with this car. I mean, the differential seeps gear fluid, but I mean, what differential doesn't, you know? So, I don't know. You've embarked on a journey with me. One, I've already taken small steps to making your life easier so you can follow along. But the question is, how do we do this together? I don't know. How do I do it? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, I'm dumb. And I don't really do these things. And I'm not much of a wrencher. But that's why we got this car, because I'm going to learn, you're going to learn, and we're going to turn this thing into, well, not a show car. Something pristine. No, not pristine. We're going to get her 7/10 of the way there. And I think that's good enough for something that I plan on driving almost every day. But like, even as it stands, look at it. How can you not?
How can you not? The material.
You can be the judge of it. How can you not love it? Welcome to Project Blow By. I hope you're ready for what's to come. I'm not even really sure what's to come, you know, but that's why we're doing this together. So wish me luck, wish her luck, wish Chris luck. Me. Because he's gonna need it. And yeah, stay tuned. Instagram, you know, follow along, YouTube, hit that notification bell, and keep a lookout for articles, you know, giving you as much content as we can. But I am so thrilled to finally have the car that I've wanted for quite some time. But we're gonna get her to as close to show car quality as we can and on as small as a budget as possible. So let's do it. See you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.